Okay, grade 7. Today we are learning about area of composite figures. This is chapter 8, lesson 3. In your book, it should start from page 631. Okay. You need to look at this picture and then answer these questions over here. Okay. Okay. Before we start explaining what are composite figures, I want us to discuss how to find area of two-dimensional shapes. And in class, we have discovered some two-dimensional shapes that we learned as the chapter was beginning, and also in chapter 7, okay? And some of these shapes you saw before you came to grade 7. So you either saw in grade 5, grade 6, in kindergarten. Some teacher has shown you some of these shapes. Now let's look at the first shape. This is called a square. I want you to remember that a square does not have length and width. The square has sides. That's how you define a square. You define the square using its sides. And because the sides are congruent, meaning the sides are the same, we will write S here and S here. And then you see these congruency marks. We have to put them so that you know this shape is a square. So now, if they say this square has a side of 4 centimeters, so I will write 4 centimeter there, I'll write 4 centimeter there, 4 centimeter here, and 4 centimeter there. Because the question said. And then the question said, find the area of the square. So I will write area equals side times side. That's the formula for finding area of a square. When you see S times S, you know we are talking about a square. So what is my side? 4 centimeter, and the other side is 4 centimeter. And 4 times 4 is 16, and centimeter times centimeter is centimeter squared. And this is the answer for the area of this square. Now let us do the area of a rectangle. When we want to find the area of a rectangle, the formula will be area equals length times width, okay? So the longer side is usually the length of your rectangle, and then the shorter side is your width of your rectangle. So how long your rectangle is and how wide your rectangle is, okay? So I put any number I want. So since this is the longest side, I'll put a bigger number as compared to the number I put on the width. So my length, let's say my length is 9 meters, and my width, let's say 6 meters, okay? And what is 9 times 6? That should be 54. I told you no calculator. I don't know why. Don't try not use your calculator. Just do multiplication. So 9 meters times 6 meters gives me 54 meters squared. And you box your answer. So that is how you found the area of a rectangle, okay? So now let's do area of a parallelogram. Area of parallelogram is given by area equals base times height. Base times height. Or just write B times H, okay? Now, in your parallelogram, the base is the long side. Use the long side as the base. Don't use the short side as the base. And then the height is from one vertex to the other base. So that line that is perpendicular, that makes a 90-degree angle, is what we are calling the height. Don't choose this small side that is diagonal and call it the height. The height has to be vertical. It has to be perpendicular to the base. That means it makes a 90-degree angle, okay? Now let's put some numbers. Let's say here the base is 11 meters and the height is 7 meters. Let's say that, okay? So then you do 11 meters times 7 meters, and your answer is 77 meters squared. Remember, your units for area have to be squared. They must be squared. If you don't put that, it will be incorrect. Okay? So let's do trapezoids. And here, trapezoids, they can come in 2 different ways, but the formula is the same. Okay? So the trapezoid has 2 bases. It has the long base and the short base, and then the height is the perpendicular line to one of the bases. Okay? So let's put some numbers. Let's say this is 3 centimeter, and let's say this is 8 centimeter, and let's say this is 4 centimeter. So if I want to find the area of a trapezoid, I have to find the formula, follow the formula. Area equals base 1 plus base 2 divide by 2, and then I multiply by the height. Okay? So that is how I find the area of a trapezoid. I will add base 1 and base 2 together. I will divide by 2, then I will multiply by the height. So, but it doesn't matter. Depending on the commutative property you decide to use, you can either add, but you have to add first. Step 1 has to be add. Add, multiply by height, divide by 2. Or you can divide your height by 2, and then the answer you multiply by adding base 1 and base 2. Whichever way. Remember commutative property that we did in chapter 5, or is it 4? All right, so this is 3 plus 8. I have to divide this by 2, and then I will multiply by 4. Okay, I will continue over here. 3 plus 8, that should be 11 over 2, and multiply by 4. So 11 divided by 2, 11 divided by 2, multiply by 4. Then I have 5 and 5/10, and I multiply by 4. And my answer should be 22. Okay, so 22 centimeters squared. Okay, all right, so the same thing here, nothing has changed. I can say this is 6 meters, I can say this is 9 meters, and I can say this is 10 meters. The question should do. So follow the rule. What is the rule? Area equals base 1 plus base 2 multiply by the height, divide by 2. Remember, this has to be in brackets. Okay, 6 plus 9, that is 15. No, I should write what I'm doing. So 6 plus 9 multiply by 10, and then I divide by 2. 6 plus 9 is 15. 15 multiplied by 10, divide by 2. So that will be 75. Okay. So my answer is 75 meters squared. Okay. All right. Now how to find area of a triangle? Area of a triangle equals base times height divide by 2. So we put a number here. Let's say this is 12 meters. What do I want my height to be? 4 meters. So I will say 12 times 4, 12 meters times 4 meters, divide by 2. What is that? 48. 48 meters squared divide by 2. That is 24 meters squared. And that's my answer for area of a triangle. Now we are just from doing in lesson 1 and 2, In lesson 2, we are just from doing area of a circle. So remember, when the question gives you the diameter, you have to find the radius. So if the diameter here is, let's say 10 meters, so you have to find the radius. Step 1, find the radius. So how do I find the radius? I divide the diameter by 2. So radius equals diameter divided by 2. 10 meters divided by 2, 5 meters. And then I find the area. Area equals pi r squared, pi times 5 squared. That gives me 25 pi, and what is it, meters squared. And if I go in my calculator and I say pi is 3.14, so I will do 25 times 3.14. That gives me 78.5. So that will be 78.5 meters squared. So don't forget that. When the question gives you diameter, you need to find the radius first. Now in this question, the radius is shown, so we can put any number we want. So let's say the radius is 3 centimeters. So you'll do the same thing. Area equals pi r squared. Let's say our pi is 22/7 times 3 times 3. Remember it's centimeters. So this is 22/7 times 9. 22/7 times 9 centimeters squared. So you go to your calculator and you put 22/7 times 9, and that gives you 28. So if the question tells you to round to the nearest tenth, that will be 28.3. Because this is greater than 5, you add 1 here. So 28.3. So that's your answer, 28.3 centimeters squared, and you box it. Okay. So let's say this is still the same question. The question gave us R, and R is 3 centimeter. So you will do, since this is semicircle, you will do area equals pi r squared, but you will divide by 2 because this is semicircle. So our pi is what? 22/7. Our radius is 3 times 3 times 3, and then I will divide by 2. So in the calculator, I'll just put this because we already did. So 28.3. Then I will divide by 2. And I got 14.5. So my answer will be 14.15, sorry. 14.15 centimeters squared. Why are we dividing by 2? Because this is not a complete circle. This is half of a circle, okay? All right. So this is what you need to know for you to be successful in this lesson. If you don't know your formulas for area, I don't know how I'm going to help you. You have to know. You have to master the formula by yourself. So you have to practice so this becomes, it sticks in your brain. Okay? All right. So now we need to talk what is a composite figure. That is one thing you need to know. Okay? So, composite figures. For a figure to be composite, one, you're either adding two shapes together or removing one shape from another shape, okay? So when we make composite figures, you're either adding adding two figures together. How did I spell this? Together. You're adding two figures together, or you're removing figures from another figure. Removing figures from another figure or from a given figure. Okay? So, like it says here, adding, that means you will plus. Removing, that means you will subtract. So we will see some examples we have. Okay? I want us to see what we are going to do. I'm going to do this example here. Let's do this example. So I can separate this two over here. And I have a trapezoid. So figure A is a trapezoid. Figure B is a rectangle. This is figure B. So that will be my step one, okay? So I want to find the area of the figure and round to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to do it over here. So I'm going to say area of composite shape equals area of trapezoid plus area of rectangle. Okay? How do I get area of trapezoid? Base 1 plus base 2, divide by 2, multiply by the height. Okay? And then I will add area of rectangle. I find it length times width. So I will put them in brackets because I need to do each one by itself before I add. Okay? Now let me do this first. I go back to my picture. My base 1 is 20. My base 2 is 25. My height is 5. Why? Because the distance from here to here is 20. And then, my base, this one, my height will be 7. Because from here to here is 13. From here to here is 20. So this distance over here will be 7. So base 1 is 20 plus 25. And then I divide by 2 and I multiply by 7. 20 plus 25 is 45. Okay. So I'll do that here. 20 plus 25 is 45. 45 divide by 2. 45 divide by 2. And then multiply by 7. Okay. I will get 157.5. So this equals to 157.5. What is my unit? Centimeters squared, because it is area. Now let us put our numbers for our length. Our length is 25 and our width is 13. So 25 centimeters times 13 centimeters. Okay, and I do that. 25 times 13, and then you will get 325 centimeters squared. Then what do? You add these two numbers plus 157.5, and you get 482.5 centimeters squared as the total area of the shape. So that is how we did example A, okay? I'm trying to find another shape to do. Can we do this one? Let's do this one, okay? So I'm gonna do example C. You're gonna do the rest. I'm not going to do all of them for you. So you need to make sure whatever you're seeing, you're reading the correct shape and the correct values, okay? So let's look at this one here. In this shape, what does the question say? The diagram for the park shown. The diagram for a park is shown. The shaded area represents the picnic. The shaded area, this blue part, is the picnic sections. Find the area of the picnic sections. So they want you to find the area of the triangle plus the area of this rectangle. Good. So, and you write it over here. Area of picnic sections. Okay. And the sections are made by area of triangle plus area of rectangle. How do you find area of triangle? 1/2 times base times height. So you'll do this part first. And then, how do you find area of a rectangle? Length times width. Okay? So those are two things you need to do. Now let's go back to our picture and find our numbers, our values. The base of the triangle. The base of the triangle is from here to here. So that will be 50. So 1/2 times 50. The height of the triangle, that will be the distance from here to here. So if this is 150, if the whole distance is 150, and from here to here is 120, so this distance from here to here is 30. So I'm going to multiply that by 30. Okay. Plus, now I need to find the length. They gave us the length is 60 and the width is 25. So 60 times 25. Okay. So half of 50 is 25. 25 times 30. 25 times 30 is 750. And the unit is meters, so we're going to write meters squared. And then I'm going to do 25 times 60. 25 times 60. That should be 1,500. 1,500 meters squared. And then you add these two numbers. So that should be plus 750. 2,250. 2,250 meters squared is the area of the picnic sections. Okay? So that's what you need to do. You read the question, you do what it says. You remember the shape that you've been given. If you divide it into a parallelogram, we have gone through the rules. You see these rules that we went through over here? You pick the area that you see on your picture. And make sure you do what you think the question wants you to do. Okay, bye. And I will turn on the lesson on Aleph so that you do. Okay? And do by yourself. Don't ask for help. There's a video. Watch the video, write the notes, then do Aleph by yourself.